It's your boy Conserviz34, and today we're going to talk about not stalking members of the Dave Matthews Band. But before we talk about that, I'm going to talk about 1997. Now, the Whalers did leave. I was mad about that. We got the amount of season tickets they wanted to sell in order to keep the team in 96 into 97, and they still left us. We had a lot of fan support for a team that was really bad, and they still left us. But that's life. The Hurricanes are a bunch of jerks because of that, and I don't like Peter Carmanos. But anyway, later that year, things did get better in the hockey sense. I was a young diehard hockey fan at the time, and all of a sudden, my parents buy a 3-bedroom house in suburban Connecticut. And then it happened. I get a new babysitter 2 houses down from this new house that we move into. And she's married to John Butchercross. This guy was on NHL Tonight, which was smaller known at the time. But he would grow into becoming an ESPN anchor. And then he would also grow into a Twitter personality, a broadcaster, an announcer for the NCAA Men's Division I Hockey Frozen Four tournament. You know, he became big time. He had this whole Bucci overtime challenge thing that started, and now it's a national phenomenon for any overtime game in college hockey or in professional hockey. I just grew up and saw this success happen to him, and he became famous. And it was pretty cool to see him. He's a real humble guy and down-to-earth guy who never forgot where he came from, never forgot his life story and where he came from. I won't go too much into that, but he's just always been a great guy. And I always thought, what if I was Mr. Butchercross, John Butchercross? How would I feel if people came up to me nonstop, tried to talk hockey to me at my son's game? Because that did happen. His sons played hockey and people wanted to come up to him and talk hockey. And he always talked hockey back, always a great guy in public. But imagine if I had half of what he had to go through. Imagine if I was a musician and everyone wanted to just see me. Imagine if I was a movie star and I couldn't take my kids anywhere without paparazzi. You know, I started to think about these things as I got older, and it makes me react differently to meeting celebrities. Now, I've met a couple celebrities here and there, and even a kid from my church made it to the NFL, Chris Baker. It's like, whoa, I remember we was a youth church. So I've always had a respect for professional athletes and personalities, and because, you know, Mr. Butchercross was on my street, and all of a sudden he was blowing up into this huge thing. And I always thought if I was him, I would not want to have to deal with the crap of all these obsessive stalker-like fans. And that's what leads me to my opinions on what's going on with the Dave Matthews Band. Fans are ridiculous. I'm sorry. It needs to be addressed. You know, I talk about these set lists and I talk about all this stuff. This is one of the number one things that to me is wrong about the fan base. Okay? It's shrouded in, oh, Dave is so much to my life. And it's shrouded in, oh, it's fate and I was meant to meet him and he's so much to me. But there's a difference between meeting somebody by accident or meeting someone by chance and stalking them. And not all the fans, but a lot of the fans are getting to the point where they are stalking this band, and it's been going on for years, but it keeps going, and people need to be more respectful. My goal is just to create a little bit of thought and discussion positively about how we as fans of the Dave Matthews Band can give the band more space to be human while still admiring what they do. Now, I want to give a couple examples of what I'm not talking about. There was a young woman and her boyfriend, I don't know if they're still together, but they were on their way to a DMB show and Dave needed help. They didn't know it was Dave Matthews, but his bike broke down. So this young woman was nice enough to help a person who she didn't know who it was, and it happened to be Dave Matthews. And she deserved everything she got. They got her backstage, they played a song for her, and she got all these things that she deserved for being a kind human being and not stalking Dave Matthews. I'm not talking about being in the pit at the rail and asking Dave to take a selfie at a show. Dave loves interacting with the fans at, his show, his job. I'm not talking about getting stuff from Carter or smiling back or waving at Buddy Strong or thanking Stefan or even going up to Rap, who actually opens up himself to conversation during the shows. He wants to meet fans and talk to them. But the stalking at hotels is what I'm saying is not cool. The following around of Dave while he's biking, trying to get exercise, trying to escape his world of music and the busyness of a tour schedule to just have a nice bike ride. And people stalk him, take pictures, do all this type of stuff. We are treating this band like they're animals, and some of it is not on purpose. I don't want to discredit what this band has done for people's lives. They have saved people from suicide. They have gotten people out of dark places. Countless people have said online about a divorce or a breakup that they just thought they would never get over, but they listened to the music of DMB and it got them there. Some tattoos mean things. They have tattoos that have lyrics from the band, and it's for someone who passed away, a mother, a father, a war veteran that was in their family that died in Iraq or Afghanistan, or someone who died in 9/11 from their family, and they used DMB lyrics to really help them with a tattoo. I understand the power and value of this band and of music and of celebrities helping people through difficult times. But that does not give you an excuse to stalk someone at their hotel room or stalk someone on their bike run or go around Saratoga Springs like this idiot dude did last year and just try to take pictures of every band member like they were trophies. We are treating this band like animals when we stalk them and, we have to get a photo with them. It's part of our checklist. And it's done viciously and maliciously and to a point where we're like a CIA director. Or not CIA directors, a CIA agent or FBI agent trying to track them down. Give this band some space. This is why they like Europe, because in Europe they do have a couple fans who stalk from the States, but the fans in Europe are just respectful of the show. They don't yell out at the show, and they just go to the show, they're entertained, and they go home. But in the States, they have to worry about every show. That's why they probably like Mexico. They have the security and they can go right to where they need to go in their rooms. And they don't have people camping out at their hotel because everyone in Mexico is at the pool parties and all the other stuff. But it's excessive in the States. And I see why. I don't blame them for going to Pensacola, Florida, and Jacksonville and all these other lesser popular DMB venues because they don't have to deal with half the crap they have to deal with in Hartford. People camp out at their hotels. In Saratoga Springs, where people creep out nonstop and run around the city trying to stalk this band. It needs to stop. Think about if you were that celebrity. Just like I think about if I was Mr. Butchercross trying to go to a hockey game and enjoy it and people were trying to talk to me about all this stuff nonstop. Think about if you were a band member, you have a family, you are going to sound check, you're off of 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and someone is stalking you. Someone is right there in your face when you're getting out of your hotel room in the lobby. Someone is in your face while you're trying to bike and get literally away from the world so that you can enjoy freedom of just being away for a moment from the craziness of the tour. Not that they don't love their jobs, but you need balance in your life, and they can't have balance because so many idiot fans are trying to show them the stupid fire dancer tattoo. And yes, I know, again, I don't discredit the meaning of the tattoos, but you know how many fire dancer tattoos Dave has seen? You think he really cares about yours? No. Now, this is different from, again, he's made friends with terminal cancer patients and Sam. We know Kit Kat Sam from the Mansfield Mass shows and the documentary they had on HBO with Kit Kat Sam, R.I.P. Those are different. Those are people that's lives are ending or struggling or suffering, and they wrote something to the band, they sent something to the band, and the band said, look, this is what matters. This person right here, not the stupid person that lives in rich suburbia with 3 kids and a lot of money, and they have a DMB tattoo. This person right here who may die any day. This person right here who is struggling with this. This person right here who's a farmer who's losing their farm because 75% of dairy farms since the 1970s are gone. They matter. Now, everyone mad, he appreciates all the fans, but these are the people I need to put my free time with. Not you over here with the fire dancer tattoo cutting Dave off in traffic when he's in an unmarked car. Which, by the way, in New Orleans, someone posted video on DMB Family of them in low-lit areas of Jazz Fest, and Dave is in an unmarked car, and they're popping out and trying to get a photo. You know how dangerous that can be? That's a safety concern. I'm not trying to be not on my lawn guy, but if someone's in an unmarked car, they are a celebrity with security, and you pop out, you could get harmed or hurt by security. And look, I know that meant the world to them, and good, yeah, you got your 5 seconds with Dave, or really like 3 minutes, because everyone had to get a selfie with Dave. Let Dave leave the freaking venue in peace. Don't come out and it's pitch black and you hop out in front of a car and all of a sudden you're invading his space. Now, this is where I credit the band. Whenever someone ambushes them or is freaking annoying outside of a concert, they still show those people respect. They still take the photo out, even though I know Tim Reynolds doesn't want to take a photo with all you guys. I know he appreciates your support, but he doesn't want to take a photo with every one of you guys who camps out and stalks him after the show. It's too far. We need to be respectful. Even though they allow us to do it, we still shouldn't do it. That's part of life. That's part of being considerate of others. People may let you walk over them if they're insecure or young or inexperienced. That doesn't mean we don't do it. We're supposed to be smarter and better. And I hope this creates a discussion. If you have disagreements, respectfully, tell me why. If you think that this moment was worth it, tell me why. Give me some of your perspective. But I understand and empathize with the power of this band and what it means to people. I just don't understand why people have to impact this band in a negative way by getting in their way when they're trying to get the sound check, when they're trying to go home to see their family, when they're out with their family and they have their kids there. And you're trying to get a freaking autograph. That is too far. The show is fine. Carter Joe throws his drumsticks, even though he doesn't do it every show now, or hasn't done it in a while, I guess. Like, okay, that's what they do that for. They do it at the show. They wave and smile. They sign signs at the show. But once the show's over, unless you happen to just run into them at the airport or something like by chance, not by stalking, if it's not some sort of random occurrence, we need to be respectful of their time, of their space, because they don't get a lot of it to themselves. They are using a lot of it to prepare the show for us. This is bigger than the setlist complaints, bigger than my petty feelings of don't drink the water being too fast. They are human. They're not trophies you can hang up in your wall. Oh, there's Dave, and I saw Roy before he passed, and I saw Jeff, and like I hang these up. Oh, look at me. It's bigger than that. Think of more than yourself. This band has such positive messages of being kind to others, and we're not even kind to the band. We want a freaking photo op. For what? You're not gonna take it home when you pass. You can't bring it to heaven or wherever you think you're gonna go. Be respectful, be courteous, and let's talk about this. Saturday night stream, if I have it Saturday or if I do it Sunday, I want to talk about this. Come on with me, ConcertViz34. I'll tweet about when I go live on Saturday. But that's all I got for today. It's your boy ConcertViz34. I'm out. Peace.